World Lacrosse Championships move into the medal round. Today, it's the Iroquois and Australia playing for the bronze. The Iroquois won the bronze in 2014. Australia finished fourth back in 2014. And Ashraf, Quint Kestic, these two have played already in this tournament. The Iroquois with a big second half pulled away with a 7-goal victory.
This game will be revealing for Australia. It's their 8th game in 8 days. Think about that. And for the Iroquois, after a setback in the semifinals, they had a chance to end on a positive note. This game will reveal character.
Lyle Thompson, we have seen plenty of him throughout his career on the international stage. He had a big game when these two played the first time. What can we expect from De Hasenunda this time?
He's been terrific all week, bringing his creative style to the world stage, playing midfield. He's got a little shoulder injury. We haven't seen him play for the Chesapeake Bayhawks much this summer, but he has been by far their best player. He's got the guns out for this bronze medal game. Meanwhile, for Australia, this is a big athletic team. Nobody bigger than the big koala. Well, Callum Robinson took a leap of faith when he moved from Perth to Baltimore, Maryland to play for Stevenson University. 193 centimeters and 108 kilos. 27-year-old now plays for the Atlanta Blaze in Major League Lacrosse. He's an Aussie at heart, but he's been schooled in the American game.
In goal for Australia, it'll be Sean Aaron, 55% in this tournament. He plays for the Charlotte Hounds. Australia's been alternating its goalies. We've seen Sean Aaron. We saw Ryan Spark last night against the United States. And Warren Hill gets the start in net for the Iroquois. 49%. Numbers not so good in the semifinal loss to Canada yesterday, but he was 11 for 20 when the Iroquois beat Australia earlier in this tourney. Australia wins the opening faceoff. It's Tim Graham, the 18-year-old faceoff man for the Aussies, has opened some eyes. And there's a lot of college coaches that have made their way to Netanya. If they're looking for a faceoff man, 18 in green is going to be a good get.
He's 18, as you said, Melbourne native. He just finished up what is his high school education. He has outstanding grades. He's strong. He's been tutored by Matt Schomburg, one of the leading face-off teachers in the U.S. He is ready, able, and willing. And if you're a D1 coach, I suggest you reach out to the Australian Lacrosse Association to try to make contact with young Timothy Graham. I think he's a Division I Fogo.
Australia on attack. The Aussies in the first meeting against the Iroquois jumped out to a 3-0 lead. It was 7-7 at the half. And after the Australians took an 8-7 lead, it was all Iroquois as the Iroquois Nationals closed that game on a 9-1 run to win 16-9. William Pickett now, 4 goals in this tournament. Pickett fires one on Cage, and Warren Hill there for the stop.
Hill, the big lefty, out of Hill Academy, and then Syracuse 2016.
Procedure call against the Iroquois, so Australia will get it back. It's an offense, as we have seen throughout this tournament. They value the ball. They want to make it a low possession game.
That's an understatement, Anish. They are very, very patient. They test your resolve defensively. They test your focus. They test your endurance. A lot of circular passing. They've got a good cutting game inside. Most of their goals are typically assisted.
There's Nigel Morton, splits a couple of defenders, and then shoots just wide. Morton, a captain, 29-year-old from Adelaide, Australia, had a hat trick against the Iroquois. Right on the doorstep, Morton is denied by Hill, and it's picked up by the Iroquois. Ron John galloping across the midfield line. A rising junior at Albany, and that one goes off the stick of Orrin Horn. But picked up by Randy Stotts, and the first offensive possession now for the Iroquois. Lyle Thompson, 4 and white. Simply one of the best to ever pick up a lacrosse stick.
Play in midfield. Interesting, a little subtle lineup switch for the Nationals. Dehoga Nanakok starting at attack.
Nanticoke has played a lot out of the box in this tournament. Here is Lyle Thompson.
Guy that was quiet was Miles Thompson, 2 in white. We didn't really call his name very much in the semifinals.
Kyle Jackson, 47 in white, former Michigan Wolverine. Left Ann Arbor as the program's all-time leading scorer. Since passed by Ian King, but he made his impact on what was at the time a young Michigan program.
29 goals as a senior, then drafted by the Boston Cannons of Major League Lacrosse.
Backhanded shot that time by Jackson, trying to get his own rebound.
Ooh, man, he got crushed.
No flag.
He's still down.
Jackson is down.
Looks like we're going to have a flag behind the play, Anish. Jackson slow to get up. He played for Team Canada's U19 team back. He's a quick lefty, born in Sarnia, Ontario. He's a Chippewa, out of the Chippewa tribe, the 24-year-old, and that's how he is eligible. I tell you, Team Canada was going after him big time, just trying to beat him up with cross checks to the shoulders, ribs, and hips.
Despite the big hit that Jackson took, the penalty is against the Iroquois, and Australia will go man up.
There's a certain spirit here tonight, okay? This is the last evening of lacrosse here in Netanya. We'll move over to the stadium for the finals tomorrow, and as these teams finish up, they're in a real celebratory mood, Anish, and you can just feel the vibe here on campus.
Chris Robertson, another save by Warren Hill. Robertson, former Offensive Player of the Year in the MAC while at Siena, a product of the Hill Academy. The Iroquois still a man down.
There's a flag down right now against Australia. Looks like these refs are going to call it tight. Slashing violation. So now if you're the Iroquois, you want to rag some clock. You'll go to all even with a flag down that denotes possession and an upcoming penalty on the Aussies.
The international game features 20-minute running clocks per quarter. You have normal clock stoppage once you hit the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
And you'll see the slashing violation. No stick, no glove, just a hack to the rib or shoulder area. It'll be interesting to see how these officials operate tomorrow in the gold medal game between Canada and the U.S. because in pool play that game was,
they let him play,
on fire in terms of physical intensity.
Matt Danowski, one of the captains for Team USA, told me yesterday it was a football game. Something to point out, that last flag, normally in the college or MLL game you have what's called a delayed penalty, but if the officials deem that you are not trying to attack the goal, they can blow the whistle at any time. That's what happened there to enforce that penalty, and that's a shame for the Iroquois because they've got a man already in the box. And so now, as Lars Tiffany's pleading his case with the officials, Lars, one of the assistant coaches for the Iroquois.
3-4-5 with the slash, that's 1 minute. And green number 4 with the offsides, that's 30 seconds.
So 2 penalties on the Australians. Robertson the slash, Luke Keesing called for being offsides. So it'll be 5-on-4 for the Iroquois, and momentarily it'll be a 6-on-4 advantage. Lyle Thompson on the doorstep, stopped by Aaron. The long outlet down the other way. Caleb Hall, 31-year-old out of Melbourne.
That's a stinger.
Backpedaling is Alex Brown, one of the captains.
Big stop. I mean, a big stop, because that gives him the opportunity to rag this penalty time down to nothingness. Interesting how Australia is using 2 goalies. Sean Aaron, Union College in Albany, 29-year-old out of Melbourne. Charlotte Hounds, as you said, started a different goalie last night against USA.
Aussies playing 5-on-6 right now, trying to play keep away until they get to even strength.
Ryan Spark got the start last night, the 31-year-old from Perth. I thought he played real well. I thought he played real well in the first half against Team USA. This group in green hung around, and it was 6-4, and the U.S. was kind of tested over those first 40 minutes.
They slowed it down. They limited the possessions for the Americans. A much better showing after losing 19-1 to the U.S. earlier in the tournament.
It seems like the Aussies are getting better every game, where others in the blue division, because of fatigue, are going in the opposite direction.
It's a well-conditioned unit. Here's Morton. Checked by Lyle Thompson. And Thompson with the caused the turnover.
Strong check. And look at Lyle with an aggressive breakout. He wanted the pill. Just a two-handed hammer check down on the glove, Anish, which pops the ball out of the stick.
The Australians have been a fun watch in the stands. Their fans have brought the spirit. They have been loud, enthusiastic.
Aussie, 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 Aussie!
They've had the best fans in this tournament, hands down. And I don't think anybody's been a better ambassador for the game while in Netanya and in Israel than the Iroquois.
Rock stars on this campus around their hotel.
Austin Stotts. That one shot wide by Randy Stotts' brother.
And generous with their time in an authentic and organic way. Like, you don't have to exchange emails with Mark Burnham to get him to come out and do a little impromptu clinic and sing along with Uganda.
Tehogan Nanticoke from the wing. Backing down Lachlan Walker. Here's Ty Thompson. He had 5 goals against Australia the first time. And now 6 of his 13 goals in this tournament have come against the Aussies.
Wing dodge and an underneath move for a little bit of a chicken wing there. Watch the elbow right there. You see that in basketball when a player reaches around with that free hand.
Thompson, 95 goals in his last 2 seasons at Albany. Part of the Thompson attack line for Scott Marr in 2014.
Unassisted from the wing. You know, Iroquois off-ball offense has been an issue. There's just a little too much standing around.
And they get a long pole goal. That is another Thompson. Heine Thompson.
Well, off the face-off, the Sharks of Australia don't check up. Watch them right down the middle of the field. There's a communication error there. Callum Robinson is pointing. He's pointing, saying, you've got to drop down. And look how upset he is. Look how ticked off he is, because the midi didn't stay with that man. Robinson's got that attack went off to the right. He needs help with Heine. It's a guy who's been unselfish. He's not a long pole midfielder. He's a normal midfielder, and he's played out of his comfort zone this week.
Former Junior College National Player of the Year. One of 5 Thompsons on the Iroquois roster. Heine, Lyle, face-off man Jeremy, and Miles, all brothers. And Ty, who had the first goal, is their cousin. All of them slept with lacrosse sticks in the cradle.
They call Heine sleepy.
Heine Thompson playing some defense, and Isaac Cowell, 23-year-old out of Perth on the west coast of Australia.
About 65% of this Australian team is from Perth. The other split between Adelaide and Melbourne. 0% of the players are from the big city, Sydney.
Chris Plum, one of the captains. Now Alex Brown. Heine Thompson, good defense that time on Cowell. We get a timeout. 9:23 to go in the opening quarter. The bronze medal on the line. And the Iroquois with a 2-0 lead. Quint Kesnick with you in Netanya, Israel, on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, one of three major bodies of water that surround Israel: the Med, the Dead, and the Red. And Dead Red was Ty Thompson.
And the Thompsons. Ty first unassisted, then Heine Thompson from Frank Brown, the Hobart alum, 2017. That's a good look at Mark Burnham, who started this trip with red hair. It went gray when the Iroquois had their passport issues, and great to see it's back red. Mark Burnham, a four-time Iroquois national player in this event. A guy who exemplifies team. He was a midfielder who played an awful lot of defense.
Here comes Heine Thompson. Heine, bounce shot, that one turned away. It's going to be Australia ball. They were closest to the sideline when the ball went out of bounds. You mentioned the passport troubles. Mark Burnham staying at her hotel with the rest of the Iroquois team, and we saw him a few days before this tournament started. His team had not gotten here yet. Stuck in Canada. Finally got the passport issues resolved. They showed up on the day of the first game, and that was against the United States. Got to Netanya in the afternoon, played the U.S. that night, took a lead into the locker room at halftime, then ran out of gas in the second half, and they have not had much time to catch their breath at all. And despite it all, as we mentioned earlier, they've been great ambassadors for the game, helping out other nations, helping out Peru and Jamaica and Uganda. They've been incredibly generous with their time, and I don't think there's another team out here that has captured the spirit of what this tournament and these world championships are about. Not in the way that the Iroquois have.
They walk through the fan fest area where players are cooling out after competition. They walk through this compound here, and everybody turns and cheers.
Yeah.
They are beloved by the 45 other nations.
The people's champion. They see this as an opportunity to grow the creators game. Australia on the board. It's Robertson. Started Sienna.
Yeah, this 23-year-old out of Buffalo. Another Hill Academy product. He played for Brody Merrill. Look at him get top side, protect the stick, left-handed, strong move. He's approaching 20 points in this event. He's a MAC Player of the Year back in 2017, where he scored 35 goals for the Siena Saints up in the Capital Region. He's been terrific, a mid-range, really a threat. Reminds me of a Mark Cockerton-style player.
Jeremy Thompson and Noah Jenny at the face-off X. Scooped up by Thompson.
Jeremy's the leader. He's the voice of this team. He's got a presence.
The oldest of the Thompson brothers. Jeremy played at Onondaga Community College before transferring to Syracuse. An All-American with the Orange. There's Brendan Bomberry, just finished his career at Syracuse. Lefty bombs, even though he's right-handed. And an offsides call on the Iroquois. Jeff Melsup.
This is dangerous.
Melsup fires wide, and there to back up is Alex Brown.
Those restarts, when you're caught off guard, when everybody's packed in offensively and the restarts high in the zone, Anish, lead to runouts, and those are just primetime opportunities.
Isaac Cal, he's got a couple of goals in this tournament, part of the starting attack. The "Come on, Aussies, come on" chant coming from the Sharks faithful. Mitchell Kennedy plays it to the wing and Plum.
The only thing the Aussies are missing, Anish, is a live mascot.
Now you took the words out of my mouth.
Kangaroo, koala, wombat, meerkat maybe.
Dingo. Big check that time. Mike Lazor, who played football and lacrosse at Hobart. Tyson Bomberry laying the lumber.
Can you imagine having a wombat on your sideline?
Describe a wombat for
It's a giant,
viewers
it's
who
a
haven't seen
giant
one.
rat.
Warren Hill got a stick on that.
I was in Sydney last summer for college football for 8 days, and that the Sydney Zoo, it's bizarre the amount of species that live in Australia and Australia only. Crazy stuff.
Iroquois forced the turnover.
Don't mess with a koala either, Anish.
I've held one.
Sharpest claws.
Feels like a stuffed animal.
Too bad they're just focused on the eucalyptus.
Which actually doesn't provide them enough nutrients. That's why they sleep all day, and that's why they're so lazy.
They're junkies.
I was fortunate as a 10-year-old to spend a month in Australia. My mom's brother was living there at the time, and so we went to Melbourne where they were staying. Had a chance to go down the Great Ocean Road, go up to Sydney, the Great Barrier Reef, and as a 10-year-old, all I wanted to do was go to a zoo. Incredibly warm people.
Absolutely.
Some of the friendliest you'll ever encounter.
Wow.
Great feed on the interior. And another goal for the Iroquois. Man down on the crease. Lyle Thompson with the assist. Austin Stotts, his 13th goal of the tournament.
Watch this pass. It's about 20 yards. He just guns it right in there, trusting that Stotts will make the catch. Austin, 81 points as a first-year player at OCC. 75 points in 11 games last season. That's the 11th straight junior college title for the Lasers. Stotts out of 6 Nations.
Just led OCC to back-to-back national titles. All they do is win national titles. 11 of the last 13. Face-off violation against Australia.
I'm guessing that Austin's going to end up playing in the NLL, the Indoor Box League.
There's his brother Randy, 45 in white. Here's Austin Stotts again, dodging inside. That one hit the crossbar. Australia's got it. They'll try to play it back. There is the big koala, number 10, Callum Robinson. The Aussies turn it over.
Look at Dehoga close on that. He looked like a safety in football breaking on it.
How much do you think the experience of running out of the box, playing some midfield, will help Nanticoke as a sophomore at Albany next year?
Well, tremendously. You know, he's shown versatility to dodge from X from the wing. But like Maryland used Matt Rambo 2 years ago, sometimes as a downhill dodger, Dehoga's body lends itself to that.
Austin Stotts bullies himself in and scores his second goal of the game. 4-1 Iroquois.
I love their spirit. I like the energy I'm seeing from the Nationals. I like their spirit. Stotts has been the best offensive player thus far, just bullying his way. Watch him use the free hand again. That could have been easily a ward. I mean, he basically uses that elbow and forearm to not only shield but shove the defender. Austin Stotts could start for any Division I team in the country. But it looks like he's going to be playing in the NLL, National Lacrosse League indoors.
He and brother Randy have made quite the tandem in this tournament. There's a Jerry Stotts who plays defense for the Iroquois, no relation. 5 Thompsons, 3 Stotts, and a pair of Bomberries. That's more than 40% of the Iroquois roster. Now Lyle Thompson. When he's on the field, you can't take your eyes off of him. There's a magnetism because of the way he plays. 4 in white. 2-time winner of the Tewaaraton Award, the Heisman of Lacrosse.
There's no stencil that he fits. You know, there are no boundaries to his game, whether it's righty, lefty. He's very difficult to predict.
Randy Stotts, one-handed. Lyle is the ultimate improv. And quarter number one comes to an end. Ty Thompson looking for a behind-the-back finisher, but no dice. Still, for the Iroquois, playing their 7th game in 7 days against an Australian team playing its 8th game in 8 days. Both teams had some energy in that opening quarter. Iroquois on top, 4-1.
The 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents. Protect what matters most. Go to trustedchoice.com to find a local agent today. Cascade Lacrosse, the #1 helmet in lacrosse. Cascade Lacrosse, a passion to protect. And Honegs. Visit us at honegs.com to check out how we take every sport to the next level.
A couple of goals by Austin Stotts in the first quarter, and the Iroquois, the Six Nations, with a 4-1 lead on Australia in the bronze medal game. 83 in white. May not have been a household name before this tournament, but he's put himself on a lot of radars. There's a question as to will he go play Division I after 2 years in junior college, or just go and play in the NLL, but this is a star in the making. Jeremy Thompson wins the faceoff, quickly up ahead. And Randy Stotts, the older brother of Austin, pulls it back.
Jeremy Thompson's had a nice first 20 minutes of this ball game.
The challenge that he runs into is he's the only faceoff guy for the Iroquois, really, and most of the top contenders, Canada and the U.S. namely, have too.
Yeah, it's a nice night right now. Still humid here. It's only 79. This may be the coolest night that we've experienced while we have been in Netanya and Tel Aviv.
No, it is.
It's actually 83 and partly cloudy right now. The weather's been almost identical to like a ½ degree every single day. Super sunny. My first time in the Middle East.
Jeremy to Ty Thompson.
Robinson's going to be guilty of a late hit there on a flag. The big koala. Going to lock him up. The conditions here, the sun is so much closer. We're close to the equator. It's hard to explain when it's 87, but feels like 107.
Think about it. We always talk about the challenge on championship weekend of playing 2 games in 3 days in heat and humidity. Australia's playing its 8th game in 8 days in July in the Middle East with a 23-man roster.
Yeah,
the Iroquois, 7 games in 7 days in July in the Middle East with a 23-man roster. And that one slips past Aaron. A goal for Frank Brown, former NEC Player of the Year at Hobart.
Tall righty. Thompson with the behind-the-back pass. What I like about that shot, watch him move his feet. He just curls up just a little. So he's not shooting through the defender. He's shooting around the defender.
6'4" slinger. Went to the same high school as Zed Williams, who started Virginia. Zed was supposed to be on the Iroquois team, but got hurt. Frank Brown playing a lot of D-midi in this tournament, but he finished his Hobart career with back-to-back 30-goal seasons.
Another face-off win for Jeremy. I love talking to Jeremy Thompson. Gives me lessons.
What does he tell you?
Be the water in the stream. Keep moving forward. Go where you have to go. Bend around the rocks.
It's a pretty metaphor. Kyle Jackson now. Guarded by Caleb Hall. Now here comes Bomberry. Around X. Working against the shorty. Back to Lyle Thompson. That one zipping just off the mark.
been fascinating to watch Lyle operate from the midfield. You know, from those upper positions in the box. We're so accustomed to seeing him dominate that righty attack spot or at X.
He was a midfielder to begin his career at Albany. There's Jackson. Spun around. Jackson hits the ground. Flag coming against Australia. Now it's Bomberry. Cradling with one hand. Two-handed grip. Bomberry inside. Backhanded dive to score.
We got ourselves a Sports Center top 10 highlight, Anish. Jackson gets pummeled to the turf. A dusty ending to his dodge. And watch the lefty bombs. 3-year-old son Jagger at home right now. He misses him. I spent some time in the elevator today with the bomber. He says he can't wait to get home to see his son. That's a memorable finish to his week here in Netanya.
It is legal to dive in the crease. And lefty bombs makes it 6-1. He's right-handed. That's just his nickname. Came to Syracuse after beginning his career at Denver. 2016, scored 11 man-up goals for the Pioneers. That led the nation. One of the top finishers in college during his collegiate career. We have not seen a lot of Miles Thompson out on the field tonight for the Iroquois. Nanticoke out of the double team. Lyle Thompson. What a feed to Ty Thompson, who can't complete it. But there to back up, Randy Stotts. Now Brown.
Lyle Thompson could make an accurate pass in like the Tel Aviv markets today, where it's just wall-to-wall people. He'll find the window. He finds the opening, the seam. If you flash your stick at him, he'll hit you right where it needs to be.
Doesn't need much of an opening. Uncanny vision.
He throws guys open and trusts his teammates to make the catch.
Now the officials call a timeout. Callum Robinson was not happy with it. They're going to talk it over.
I was critical of the officiating early in the week. I have to say, for our fans back in the States, they've been good the rest of the week. There are occasional communication issues. Obviously, the rules are different, but these officials have earned the right to be involved with this bronze medal game. It's a big deal. So these are the best of the best here in Netanya, Israel.
Now Australia subbing, so are the Iroquois.
The rules will be changed slightly for 2022 in Coquitlam, British Columbia, as we have what you don't see in college lacrosse, a reface.
And Australia comes away with it to steal a possession. Jeff Melsup. He's got a goal in this tournament. Melsup kicks it to the wing. It's dropped by Brown. Got to catch that clean.
Well, yeah, that's a sign of fatigue. Yeah, the pass is down at your knees, and you just got to work to make the catch.
I think Glenn Meredith sensed it, calls a timeout for the Aussies. 6-1, the Iroquois leading here in the second quarter. The bronze medal on the line. The Iroquois won the bronze in 2014.
Frankie Brown on the extra man, 5-1. Brendan Bomberry leaning in, ducks underneath, deals with the hold, and then dives.
I'm not even sure he landed in the crease there. That might have been legal in college.
This Iroquois team, you see the big smiles. Randy Stotts on the left, that's Brendan on the right. They've showed up with wonderful spirit and energy today.
And no fan base has showed up with more spirit and energy than Australia. Oh, yeah.
They wear the colors. They like their pints. They're here early and often. They're loud. They bring their smiles, which is It's hard not to look at that. I mean, that's awesome. Look at that young guy. Maybe someday he'll be playing for the Aussie Sharks. So there's the mascot, baby.
There's the shark.
How about a meerkat maybe on the sideline, on a leash?
Or, you know,
A little guy.
what about a kookaburra? The nickname for
Every time I
the
see that
Australian
flag,
senior
Ganesh,
team, the Sharks.
every time I see that flag, I have flashbacks to nearly getting in an accident on the Sydney Bridge.
But that's because you were, I mean,
because there's a giant flag on the Sydney Bridge.
yeah, no offense, but I mean, you were idiotic enough to drive in a country that you're not familiar with, and they drive on the other side of the road, don't they?
Yeah, with the steering wheel on the other side of the car.
I mean, that's on you.
After a 20-hour flight, luckily there was minor damage to the rental car.
That's just bad decision making on your part.
What do you mean bad decision making? I needed a car.
Why not Uber it or take a taxi?
Because all week long I was going to have to go out to watch Stanford practice football about 20 to 30 minutes away.
You're going to drive on the other side of the road that you're not familiar with in a foreign country after a 20-hour flight.
Suck it up, Anish. The hard part was after the flight.
They let you rent a car that you didn't have to get kind of a special license or anything? Or
Warren Hill coming off the field right now.
Yeah.
Lefty. And we're going to have a replacement for whatever reason.
It's going to be Tyler Armstrong.
IMG down in Florida where Mark Burnham's the head coach. Tyler got out of IMG in 2017.
Did he land awkwardly? Almost looked like he may have landed on a stick. Australia's a patient offense, but now with a goalie coming in cold, you try to just pepper a few shots on goal here to see if you can maybe get back into the game. Well, they do, and Armstrong turns the first one away. Picked up by Tyson Bomberry. He has it knocked loose by Mitchell Kennedy. It comes back to Brown. Alex Brown had a couple of goals against the Iroquois. 4 in this tournament, a captain, number 11 in green. Now Kennedy. Over to Robertson. He's got the lone goal for the Aussies. Behind the cage, Larson. Robertson. And an easy save by Armstrong. Ron John swims through a double across midfield.
Ron John's a guy next year at Albany who's going to be in their top group. Angola, New York, played for the Iroquois under-19 team. They call him Smiley. He was kind of a fringe player this year, Anish. He's a great athlete at 6 foot 195. He's going to be a two-way guy for Scott Marr and the Great Danes coming off that championship weekend.
Thompson Nanticoke with a whistler.
I like that wrinkle there. These guys, I want to see more two-man games with DeHoga and Lyle.
DeHoga Nanticoke, 50 goals as a freshman for Albany this past season. Maneuvering his way inside for the goal. Much too easy for Randy Stotts. And it's 7-1.
Unassisted by Stotts. Watch this flick of a shot. Classic. Beat your man top side. He just strong one-handed tendency. He's able to keep the stick in two hands and kind of dip his shoulder, which forces Robinson over the top. Okay, defensively you want to match up on hips, not on ribs or shoulders, because if I'm on your shoulders, Anish, and you change levels, you drop down, I go flying over the top, allowing you to turn the corner.
Stotts had 4 goals against Australia in the first meeting between these two.
Watch out. You see how Jeremy looks at the official?
Why does he do that?
Because light travels faster than sound. And so he's looking at the lips of the official. He's looking at his hands and the whistle. As the wing guys, if you're a young midfielder and you're on a wing, you should be looking at the ref with the whistle. You'll see his cheeks puff. It's gives you just a little edge, little jump. If you just rely on your ears, you're never going to get a half-step edge.
Here is Bomberry, one SportsCenter top 10 worthy goal tonight. Slowly jogging toward goal line extended. Caleb Hall is not afraid to bring the lumber. Bomberry falling down.
Gosh, he just got drilled.
And he gets drilled, but they'll say he's in the crease. It's going to be Australia ball. Wow.
He's not happy. He's not happy, and we got a little action behind the play here. The referees did not see it. I did.
And they're talking to the goalie now, Sean Aaron, and now Caleb Hall jumps in there. Hall, 34, has developed a bit of a reputation in this tournament.
Yes, he had. We saw that last night as we were down on the USA sideline. His personal space sometimes he's not good. He got pushed into the goalie, and then you see how 34 falls on him. There's a little slash. That's a love tap. I mean, come on.
Flag down. The officials are going to try to put an end to this quickly.
Like U.S.-Canada, some of the action we'll see on Saturday, ESPN 2, 3 a.m. Two teams that don't like each other.
10 minutes to go in the second quarter. 7-1, the Iroquois on top of Australia. Teams assessed a penalty, so we'll go 5-on-5. 7-1, the Iroquois on top of Australia after a little dust-up before we went to break.
It makes me think of our finals tomorrow in Netanya Stadium, 3 a.m. East Coast time on ESPN 2. There's going to be a re-air on the U at noon Saturday. It's Team USA against Canada. I think the officiating in the first 5 or 10 minutes of that game is absolutely going to be crucial, critical. I think the officials need to be on the field when both teams get to the stadium, quite honestly. There was a lot of stuff going on pregame that has no part in a world championship. My feeling is that they're going to call it super tight early.
There was a lot of gamesmanship, a lot of physicality in that first meeting between the U.S. and Canada, but from a lacrosse standpoint, hands down one of the most competitive and intense lacrosse games that we've been around.
Yeah, hard to, like, we were down on the field yesterday for the Australia-US game, and big, fast, strong. Things happen so fast. You don't realize how big a Michael Earhart is, or when Paul Rabel drops his shoulder and hits you. I mean, the quality. And then to stand toe-to-toe with a foe like Canada, I can only imagine what it's like to be at a heavyweight title fight.
Well, now they've got two guys for the Iroquois in the box, so Australia has a man advantage. They will attack here 5-on-4.
Absolutely. Defense.
Warren Hill is back in goal for the Six Nations.
Watch the defense now in the white jerseys. They should be in a box formation and maybe potentially rotate into a diamond. That ended quickly. Now it's a 6-on-5. Now check that. It looks like a 5-on-5.
A little too high that time by Chris Plum.
There's some confusion out there for Australia. The situation's even. Now the Iroquois realize that, and they're marking up. It's 5-on-5.
Australia should have had another guy on the attack. Robertson denied by Hill. Chasing it down is Larson. Swarmed by Jerry Stotts. Now Robertson. Gets around Jerry Stotts. Pickett. Back of the net. Bingo. And then takes a late hit. Johnson Jimerson. A little extracurricular activity. But the goal stands by Pickett. It's 7-2. Getting chippy.
Robertson with the feed, high slot. Talked about the Australians and their offensive strength is their ability to pass the ball, dodge behind the net. When the defense turns their head, they typically have scored a lot of goals on cuts from feeds from behind the goal. And that was a much-needed goal here now. with 5 and change. Excuse me, 8 and change before halftime. Timeout with the man up.
Australia looking to get back into this game down 7-2. Looking for a charge from that Pickett goal as Warren Hill takes the helmet off.
Oh.
Walks back to the sideline.
Getting to double-digit goals for Australia has been a challenge. Only once in this tournament, opening night when they put up 18 on Scotland. The Scots, part of this blue division, they won't be in blue next year. They finished 11th today. There's the goal. Nice rip.
Japan's going to move up into the blue division.
Well, Japan and England play tonight after our game for that 5th spot. That's a critical game in this tournament. Congratulations to the Israeli national team coming in 7th. And just the fan support here was off the charts. Young kids. And Jamaica earlier today finishing 13th as well. So all the teams 1 through 46 get slotted in a world rankings. They play it to every spot, and that comes in handy when they're building divisions for Coquitlam, British Columbia in 2022.
Now, talking to a lot of the Iroquois, or rather the Israeli players after the game last night, they mentioned what this event has done for the grassroots movement for the sport of lacrosse in this country. Guys were telling us that, you know, the youth players they coach all of a sudden are now more committed after getting to see the best players in the world come to Netanya and come to Israel, getting to see the U.S., the Canada, the Iroquois, getting to see the Israeli team compete against, you know, Ireland and some of the other teams out there. Yeah, there is a feeling now that, hey, we want to be a part of the future of lacrosse in Israel.
Yeah, it's not a goofy game that you're playing in PE class anymore. They can touch it, see it, and feel it. They were here with the face paint on. They got autographs. Girls and boys.
Yeah, it's a game that now has cachet of being on a world stage for the players here.
They got some really cool stuff going on, too, Anish. I mean, guys like Danny Leventhal and Max Sebald signing autographs. But the players of the 46 teams can trade their equipment in. They need equipment here in Israel, okay? So you can trade your gloves, your stick, your helmet, your long pole. And in return, the organizers of this event give you drink coupons for the Fan Fest for tonight and tomorrow. That equipment goes to youth lacrosse here in Netanya, in Haifa, in Ashkelon, in Tel Aviv.
For so many countries, the challenge is getting sticks in the hands of players at a young age. Now for the U.S., for the Iroquois, as we told you, the Iroquois, they're born with a stick in their hands. U.S., we know, all the camps, same with Canada. But talking to not just the Israeli team, but the English team, the Scottish team, a lot of times the first time the players hear of lacrosse or pick up a stick, they're in college. They're 15, 16, 17 years old. You have an opportunity to start a kid younger. He's only going to become a better player as he gets older, as Lyle Thompson tornadoes through the defense. Nanticoke, Frank Brown. Brown, shot and saved by Aaron. Had to look it into his cross.
It's an interesting stop, the lefty.
Yeah, he wasn't sure he had it.
Well, he was guessing to his off-stick side, but he's able to recover and catch it clean.
Aussie set up the clear, 6 minutes to go, opening half. The Iroquois in command.
Nice look.
Meslip on the doorstep. Great save by Hill on the shot by Isaac Cowell on the doorstep.
3-on-2 by virtue of Callum Robinson's sensational crossfield lob pass. And Hill took that one off the left boot.
If you just had a camera on the Australian fans, you would not know what the score is. Doesn't matter. They could be down 10, they could be up 5. The enthusiasm, it never wanes. And there you go. They heard you, Quint.
We need more of that in the NCAA Division I.
That is a top.
When we go to these campuses, we need more live mascots. We need cheerleaders. We need bands. I love the pep. Give me a mascot in the pep band. It just makes the game better.
That's what I loved about Yale this year. Handsome Dan.
Who's the best?
Lyle Thompson. Nanticoke sets the pick. Thompson.
I got to tell you, Nish, you're a Syracuse alum. I've never seen Otto at a championship or playoff game. It really upsets me.
How about the big koala all over his man? Rebound, Nanticoke.
Put the backup equipment manager in the Otto uniform.
Look at this.
This could get ugly here.
I mean,
this could get ugly here.
Callum Robinson, Nanticoke using that Amtrak dodge, looking for Lyle Thompson. Flag is down.
Last game for both of these teams, leaving it all on the field.
That's a lot of mass right there. Nanticoke and the big koala. We call Dehoga the Minotaur.
Robinson, 108 kilos.
I don't do the metric system. What is that?
193 centimeters tall.
I need a conversion table now. Thompson behind the back pass to his brother Miles. Lyle. Nanticoke. Ty Thompson. Austin Stott slips in.
Buries the goaltender.
The
that
goal is
counts.
good. It's 8-2. Hat trick for Austin.
Yeah, keep it right here. This is not done yet. This can get ugly right here.
We told you, Caleb Hall has developed a reputation. He's enjoying. He's got to be careful.
Well, he's trying to protect his goalie because the shooter came in and undercut the keeper. Stotts has got the hat trick. Watch his shot. Boom. And he follows through and hits the keeper. That's why there's no diving in college lacrosse, because these scenarios apparently injure goalies. The goaltender in that situation, if that were I'm piling on Stotts and driving his helmet into the dusty turf. Then we got a flare-up after that. Scott Marr, high five. Stotts having a big game, and nothing's coming easy for either team. You got to earn the pay dirt.
Look at it, getting chippy the face-off backs as Robinson and Taylor smoke jockey for position on the wing. Tim Graham wins the draw for the Aussies. Juggles it in his stick.
Is ornery the right word to use after 7 games in 7 days? Irritated, like right on edge, like Cotter when he's hangry.
Right, maybe hangry is the right word.
Do not go near Chris Meat Cotter near dinner time.
Q, we have seen some tremendous sportsmanship for the most part.
Yes, we have.
Through the last week and a half. I think the officials right now, you do have to take control of this game, because if the score continues to move into this direction, I think you could potentially be at danger for something the game of lacrosse doesn't need.
I agree with you. And that comes down to the leadership of both these teams. Now, you want to keep playing hard. You want to protect your teammate. But you said it. Caleb Hall, the 31-year-old from Melbourne. Now, he wears 34 for the Aussies. He's the TNT. He's the dynamite. We saw him last night. He's an instigator. And he's the guy that I think is fragile in terms of maybe setting off something big here. Yeah, Matt Danowski and he squared off last night. There was a lot of words. Matt showed tremendous discipline to walk off the field after just being hatcheted on the arms multiple times.
And Matt Danowski is not one to jaw. He's an assistant coach.
Matt can talk it up pretty good.
He can.
But he had every right to get back in
100%
in Caleb's face and say something. And well, let's just see how this goes. That's going to be a storyline again. You know, there's a lot of talking between USA and Canada. There's been some internet talking as well.
Shot from the wing by Brown. Picked up by Cal. Robertson flips it back to Cal. Lachlan Walker.
I didn't mind the dive shot, Anish, when I was a goalie, because if a guy came in my crease, I was going to let him have it. I mean, honestly, I was not a clean goalie around the crease. I made sure that the dive shot guys paid the price.
Shot to score. Mitchell Kennedy, his 7th of the tournament.
26-year-old from Perth, speed dodge, and a nasty release. Down the hatch. Aussie, 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 Aussie. Watch this release. He's against the shorty. Doesn't quite turn the corner. It's more like an exclamation point, a move that Mark Millen for Team USA made very popular. The ability to kind of twist and generate some velocity on a shot while you're running directly upfield.
By the way,
spark, Mitchell Kennedy.
I can't believe that you were a little grimy when guys came into the crease, huh?
Protect the turf, man. Protect the turf. Protect the house.
You were like the dog when the mailman's at the door.
Cross-check to the neck, jam their head in the dirt if we were playing on grass. You know. Never called in that situation.
Ivan Thompson has the stick knocked out of his hands, but we get a timeout before that by the Iroquois.
Heine and Jeremy have done a wonderful job, face-offs and wings.
I'll tell you what, at halftime, the officials have to really get together and huddle up. They need to talk to both coaches, talk to both sidelines before this third quarter starts. I do worry, again, if this lead starts to swing in one direction or the other. The chippiness has been palpable. There's tension. It's happened on multiple occasions. You don't want an incident.
Sportsmanship's been really, really good. I mean, the prior game on this field was Israel and Puerto Rico. They posed for a picture together after the game. I was watching Hong Kong earlier today. They finished in 27th place. Again, the handshakes, the mutual respect amongst nations.
Right, so Lyle's going to get his dodge. Ty's going to curl in. Right, Fred can go to the backside here. Right,
Mark Burnham, head coach.
Last time that we did this, the most slid to me, Walmer was naked. So Frank will be cognizant of that. Because he's going to roll inside.
Scott Marr, offensive coordinator with the hat.
What time do you want to go?
The Albany head coach, Lars Tiffany, coaches the defense. Lars will enter his 3rd season at Virginia, starting to build a monster in Charlottesville again.
Yeah, going to be good next year, getting better and better. And Lars is on the rules committee for the NCAA Division I. It's a rules year. Expect some news August 18th coming out of Indianapolis. Whether there's a shot clock, how long is it? I spoke to Coach Tiffany the other day at length about it. And he's on the committee, and he's in an investigative mode right now. We talked about studying Major League Lacrosse. They've had a shot clock and two-point arc for 18 years. The Petri dish is there. And my thought would be for Coach Tiffany to reach out to the guys like Jim Stagnita, Dave Cottle, Tony Seaman, college coaches who now coach in the pro league. They are best to kind of describe what works, what doesn't work in terms of the rules.
We've talked about it. Uniformity in the rules would go a long way to making the sport easier to follow for everybody. Shot and a score. Randy Stotts open on the wing.
That's good coaching, and they celebrate on the sideline.
That's how they drew it up.
And Randy was part of that drawing up. Alley dodge, through X, a cut. You see the defense slough towards the middle, a little pop. Next thing you know, you got a clear look from 6 yards. That's a great coaching and execution from Coach Scott Marr. Randy Stotts talked about that play, and they get it done. That's a beautiful, beautiful example of players being coachable.
Quint likes to say stats are for losers. Stotts, though, are for winners. The Stotts brothers, Austin and Randy, have combined for 5 first-half goals. That's a good stat, Quint. 9-3, the Iroquois on top of Australia in what's been a feisty bronze medal matchup.
Aussie, 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 Aussie!
Start of the third quarter. It is 9-3. The Iroquois on top of Australia alongside Quint Kesnick and Ish Schropp. We come to you from Netanya, Israel on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Ty Thompson had 5 goals when the Iroquois beat Australia 16-9 earlier in this tournament. He got the scoring started. Austin Stotts a couple. Randy Stotts has scored as well. Robertson, former MAC Offensive Player of the Year at Siena, got the scoring going for the Aussies. But for the most part, the Iroquois have been in control. One of 3 goals there for 83 and white. Austin Stotts, he's got 15 now in these championships. And yeah, there's the wizardry of Lyle Thompson, the great pass. Brendan Bombury, you should see this one later on SportsCenter.
Top side, dip, turn the corner, boom. Robertson to Pickett. And then Stotts gets pummeled by our friend Caleb Hall.
It's been a little chippy in this first half. There's a goal.
Mitchell Kennedy. 8-3. Then the set play out of the timeout. Down the side through X. Little action inside out. Layup city. Step down city for Randy Stotts. Big number advantage in the save department for Warren Hill. 2-1 margin. 10-5.
Bronze medal on the line. The Iroquois looking to repeat as bronze medalists. Australia placed 4th in 2014. It was the first time the Aussies did not medal in the World Championship since 1974. Tim Graham wins the opening faceoff, plays it to the wing. Brown, his pass for Robertson results in a turnover.
Our stats have gotten better and better as this event has matured. There's a huge core of volunteers who both work down on the field in the substitution box area, that, you know, the head table. They work up here with us. They've done fine work. These are young men and women, mostly college students, who've been put through the grinder. So from the 4 of us and our producer Kat Kettering and Heather Lee Claggett in the truck, thank you to all the volunteers who have worked so hard this week.
Yeah, a lot of people have made this event what it is, most of them behind the scenes. There's Jeremy Thompson.
They've done such a good job. I don't miss Russ.
Russ DeLynn, our statistician extraordinaire. He'll be watching the championship game at 3 a.m. Saturday morning on ESPN2.
Behoga's got this, number 1. You see it, Anish?
He scored a hidden ball trick goal against Puerto Rico. Here's Austin Stotts. He's got 3 goals. Now Lyle Thompson. Nanakoke. Randy Stotts. Frank Brown. Lyle whips one into the cross of Sean Aaron.
So is Russ going to pull an all-nighter, or you think he'll go to bed early and try to nap prior to the 3 a.m. faceoff?
I'm glad you brought that up. If you're wondering how to stay up or perhaps get a cat nap in and wake up in time for that 3 a.m. start time for the U.S. and Canada, there's a solution and there's a blueprint as Warren Hill makes his 11th save.
There is?
Our friends who run the Quick Stick blog have come up with an itinerary for your Friday. So they lay it all out for you: when you should go to work, when you should get home, how you can still enjoy yourself, when you should get that power nap in, and at what time you should wake up. And I think they got a little bingo board to make fun of Yumi and Kark. A goal by Nigel Morton, his 11th of this tournament. 4 have now come against the Iroquois.
Well, night will eventually crawl into day. The Sharks bite first after the break, cutting this thing to 9-4, a much more suitable margin for head coach Glenn Meredith. This proud group from Australia, they've been a mainstay in the blue division. They won't back down. They will not back down, and they don't get tired either.
The Aussies in this tournament, 4-time silver medalists, won the bronze 7 times, won it in 2010, 2006, 2002, and in 1998. That run ended in 2014 in Denver. They finished 4th. The championship game, Saturday, 3 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. That is 10 a.m. local time. If you're wondering why so early.
It's like 13 hours from now, right?
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. If you're wondering why so early, tomorrow is a solemn day here in Israel as Lachlan Walker scores to make it 9-5. It's one of the saddest days on the Israeli calendar, a day of tragedies, and you can't celebrate once you get to sundown. So they started the game at 10 a.m. They made room for the winning team to celebrate. They made room for the closing ceremonies. And you're hoping to get all that out of the way before sundown when you're supposed to fast for 25 hours. So that's the reason that the start time will be 3 a.m. on the East Coast. But hey, if you're on the West Coast you're watching, that is
midnight, no big deal.
Midnight start time.
Plus a re-air on ESPNU at noon. That was a great view by our camera crew here of the grind and the twist.
Aussies have a little momentum.
I got a tweet the other day, Anish. I want your opinion. The guy kind of new to lacrosse, perhaps. Why are all face-offs done right-handed? Because we cover Division I college lacrosse. How many fogos by the end of the year? Wrist, elbow, and shoulder injuries, overuse in that right hand.
Yeah.
What if we flipped it? Every other face-off, righty face-off, lefty face-off. That could really ease some of the wear and tear on these guys.
Find an ambidextrous face-off man, that's what you're saying?
I just think the position is.
Here comes Robertson. Aussies with some momentum. Shot off the mark by Walker.
Aussies have good energy in their legs now. They're moving around. They're causing things to happen. Oh, Warren Hill just lands on this dive attempt. That's what I was talking about earlier. If guy dives the crease, he's got to pay the price. I'm in favor of reinstituting the dive. I think the solution there is to do a second crease line inside.
Let me play devil's advocate, and you're a goalie. What about the injury risk for a goalie?
Well, Matt Kinnear of Inside Lacrosse likes to put up one x-ray of one goalie. In my playing time, I never encountered a goalie who got hurt from a dive. Okay?
That's what we do.
It's your responsibility as a goalie to deal with it. To lighten the load in your legs and almost ride the wave, or to deliver the blow. Because when a guy got to goal line extended, I'm coming after him. I'm beating him to the punch.
Nanakoke thought about it, instead flips it back to Lyle.
Don't tackle the quarterback. It's that mentality in sports now. Zone defense for the Aussies.
Lyle guarded by the big koala. Number 10 in green. Callum Robinson plays for the Atlanta Blaze. Nanakoke whips it inside. And finding the angle and finding the crease is Austin Stouts. That's number 4.
Finding the angle, how do you do that? Wow, this is just a great catch. Look at him, he's standing behind goal line extended. Dip and dunk, head and shoulder fake. Excellent outing for Austin. He's bringing the juice tonight. Man of the match.
No question. 10-5, the Iroquois on top of the Sharks. And, you know, for the Australians, you look at the Iroquois already double digits in goals. That's a daunting task for this offense to get to 10. Aussies have only scored more than 10 goals once in this tournament. That was in the opener to Scotland. Scored 1 against the U.S. in the first meeting, 9 against the Iroquois, 7 in a win against England, 7 in a loss to Canada, 9 in a win against Israel, and then 5 last night in the semis against the U.S.
They're super fit, though. They grow up playing Aussie rules football.
Well, part of that is they also play a low-tempo game. They like to slow it down. They don't go allegro.
Their issue this time of year is that it's winter back in Australia.
Foose.
The only humidity is really on the north side of the country during the summer months. It's sticky up there. It's like a 6-shower day. But right now, it's winter.
What is that, down by, or up by Darwin?
Up, yeah, up.
Outback territory?
Yeah, north of that northern coast area.
Ayers Rock, right? That's the big landmark out there.
Beautiful. New Zealand's here. We got to check up to see how they did.
The Kiwis.
Plum, the Haka.
Plum looking to get free. Nowhere to go, but we get a flag coming as the pass sails out of bounds.
New Zealand came in 21st. A little disappointing for them. I had high hopes. They did a little better in Denver, beating Netherlands today. Chinese Taipei taking home 41st place with a win.
You've covered this event in the past. What do you find has been the defining quality of this tournament with it being in Israel?
Well, the fact that we are contributing to the growth of the game here, and the support of this Israeli national team, and how part of their mission is to grow the games in elementary and middle schools in Netanya, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Ashkelon, and how tangible that is. It's so new that this event becomes that springboard for those kids who are here, for the equipment that'll be left behind, for the fact that we were watching the Israeli national team play on local TV Channel 5 throughout all of Israel. We're in Tel Aviv and we're watching on our phones. Like, who would have ever thought that would have happened?
A brave new world for the sport of lacrosse. The Iroquois doubling up the Sharks. That's the nickname for the Australian national lacrosse team. 10-5. Austin Stotts 4 goals. His brother Randy's got a couple. Lyle Thompson, the great De Hasanunda, with a pair of assists. One of the best to pick up a lacrosse stick. He has become a player in this sport that has transcended Native American lacrosse. He's become a rock star, an ambassador for the sport, yet he has stayed true to himself. An artist, a true artist with the cross. Here come the Iroquois. They'll pull up. Frank Brown. Now Orrin Horn. Tell you what, Brown has seen the field a lot more tonight, and he's had a nice game, 21 in white.
He looks great. Mike Lazor not getting as many runs, 24 in white.
We haven't seen much of Miles Thompson either.
No, and you know, I had breakfast with Chase Scanlon, 66 on this team, who Under Armour All-American headed to Loyola. He was a late add to the group as Vaughn Harris couldn't make it. And he also had Jacob Patterson, who's a rising junior, I believe, at Albany, who's dinged up. He would have been on this team as well. I like Jacob Patterson next year going forward at Albany, and I think Chase Scanlon fits in right away at Loyola. I was trying to politic Coach Marr that he should be in the lineup. He's got fresh legs for this last game.
Here comes Bomberry, trying to python around X, lowering that left shoulder. Draws the slide, finds the cutter behind the back goal. Kyle Jackson. Hello, Sports Center.
Leaning in against the shorty, posts up, double team comes. They fill the slot. Jackson, the lefty. Incredible dexterity as he cuts and then seamlessly flips that over his shoulder. Michigan grad in 2016. It's got to be our trusted choice play of the game. Former Wolverine.
Calling it already.
Calling it already, yeah. Recruited by John Paul when that Michigan program got off the ground. As I said earlier, he's a member of the Chippewa tribe.
That's the stuff that people come to see when they want to watch the Iroquois. The creativity. Liam Anderson turns it over. There's Mike Brown again, aggressive on the ride. Lob toward midfield, hauled down by Millsap. And now Callum Robinson, the big koala. Is that the best nickname of this tournament?
That we know of, yeah. Other than Shekels.
Shekels, Carcaterra. Robertson. Morton out of the box, now backs up. Checked by Mike Lazor from Carthage, New York. Plays in the NLL. Robinson got greedy.
Kirk Ventiquatro, the former head coach of Carthage. The Comets, where the Powells played high school lacrosse, retiring. He was here this week coaching the Philippine national team. Spent time with he and his son Tony. Doing a nice job, the Philippines. They're gradually rising, and their GM, Ron Garcia, so instrumental in growing lacrosse. They were playing today against Germany for the 9th place spot. That's legit, Nish. That's where the parity is in this tournament, you know. We've seen the U.S. and Canada kind of dominate the blue division. In my eyes, from slots, let's say, after us, Japan's playing England.
6 through 15?
Yeah, 6 through 15 are really, really tightly contested games.
Officials blew a whistle. I did not see a flag. They restart play. 6.5 to go. Kennedy. Cow. He'll dodge from straight away. Plays it behind. Robertson with a nice feed inside to Walker. Aussie's not going away.
I was going to say the same thing. Aussie, 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 Aussie! Double team drawn through X. Flash across the middle. This is what they do. It's dodge, pass, cut. Really good play without the ball.
Goal was by Lachlan Walker. Robertson assisted. The fans, like they need
Look
a
at
reason.
this. Look at this. Now they're playing up to the cameras.
Quint, they're blowing kisses to you.
Hi, hi, hi.
Local time, 9:36.
Just getting started.
So these Aussies
Just getting started.
just getting warmed up. Great Twitter follow for this tournament has been the Australian Lacrosse Network, and got some great memes and what is it, GIFs, whatever you call it.
I loved my time in Sydney. Incredible trip. As was this.
Darling Harbor, the Rocks.
Sydney Fish Market.
There is Brown.
That stings.
Frankie.
That stings now, because in the second half, the Aussies have gotten a little something going on offense, and they score one, it's like one step forward, one step back. And that's just too easy. That's a communication breakdown defensively. You got 3 guys up by the ball, not enough down low. And you've been astute in your points about Frank Brown. Much bigger role today, Hobart class of 2017. We've seen him around the hotel. He's a impressive-looking young man, at least 6'3", 6'4".
What is that in meters?
What is it in shekels there, Mr. Laundry Bill? 683 shekels.
That is being expensed.
And you did not even do a black polo with a logo.
I brought 7. I brought 7 for 7 games, so I figured I'd save money I'd save shekels by not washing the black polos.
It's a good look at the 18-year-old for the Australian team, Tim Graham, doing battle.
And we get a flag, and there's a man down. That appears to be Graham. It is.
This kid's tough. He can definitely play college lacrosse in the U.S.
I got a feeling somebody's going to try to snag him.
That's the life of a Fogo right there. 8 games in 8 days through the spin cycle, Mr. Graham. Hope to see you in the States, Timmy. Somebody give that man a call. I think he can play Division I lacrosse.
Good aid and good on you. Bill Pickett. Wasn't that the name of a famous cowboy, Bill Pickett? Pickett, Robertson, deflected wide. Officials blowing the whistle. Pickett on the cut. 12-7.
That's what they do. Restart. 5 guys. It should be 6. And you see the defense turn up towards the midfield line. Like, what is going on here? You know, communication on restarts is critical defensively. You're calling out numbers. You're using first names. So it can't be, who's got 14? It's got to be, Anish, you got 14. You have to use first names when you're directing traffic defensively. We connect, you'll get a better reaction than just asking. And goaltenders, if you're listening out there, you young goaltenders, don't ask who's hot. Tell Anish you're hot. Kark, you got the second slide. Cotter, you got the backside. Don't say who's got the backside. You're not there to ask questions, okay?
Folks, you just got a window into our lives a little bit where Quint is constantly barking at us. And as a goalie, you want to win friends and influence people too, Q.
I leave my question answering to Saturdays during football season. Never on the lacrosse field. You're in charge. You're the goalie. Direct. Use names. Don't ask questions. And then less is more. Like in this business. Say less, mean more. As a goalie in your communication. Don't be the carnival barker. Back left, back left, back left. Watch cutters, back left, back left. It's just too much. It's white noise.
Oh, you were talking? Stall warning against the Iroquois. A minute to go in this third quarter. We had a lot of white noise this afternoon. Walking through the markets in Tel Aviv. Carmel Market.
It's great.
Great spices. Here's Scanlon. On a bounce to Stotts. 35 seconds. Stotts has 2 goals. Brother Austin has 3. That pass was intended for Jackson. He was bumped out of the way. And the Aussies have it with 23 seconds. A goal here. They get it to within 4. Here's Robinson. There's an opportunity. 15 seconds. Callum Robinson from long range. What was he shooting from there for? 10 seconds. Hill chucks it downfield. Bomberry. Ty Thompson. Momentum shift. And Randy Stotts hit the pipe. Oh, what an opportunity there for the Iroquois.
How about that fun? Ding!
The bronze medal game going to the fourth quarter. The Iroquois looking to defend the bronze, which they won in 2014. They've got a 5-goal lead on the Australians. Fourth quarter here in Netanya, Israel. Right along the Mediterranean coast. We're at the Wingate Institute, which was established in 1957. It serves as the host facility to a number of Israeli national teams, as well as serving as a military training ground. And right now it's the Iroquois on top of Australia 12-7 in the bronze medal game. Tim Graham at the face-off X for the Aussies. Jeremy Thompson for the Iroquois. And the Six Nations win the face-off. And you can see on the bottom of your screen, 3 a.m. Saturday morning at Netanya Stadium. It will be the United States and Canada in the gold medal game. Canada won the gold in 2014 and 2006. But this is the 6th straight World Championships where it's the U.S. and Canada in the final. And wasn't really a big mystery. You expected those two to be on a collision course. They end up meeting in the final. The one game that they played in this tournament was epic.
Given the way this week has played out, I'm expecting a game that people will write books about, that people will make documentaries about. I think it's going to be one for the ages because Canada's really good. They've won 2 of the last 3 World Championships. Okay, I think this version of Team Canada is actually better than the one that beat the Americans back in 14. But I think America, the Stars and Stripes, are more ready, like this coaching staff. Balance on offense.
Here's Kyle Jackson, gets in close, and he's got his second.
So I'd be shocked if USA-Canada is not a classic. Jackson's been superb this week. Kid plays with such quickness. Look at him dart back and forth, in and out. 5'9", 166. He's a great example that you don't have to be the 6'4" guy. You don't have to weigh 200 pounds. Master the stick skills. Have some quickness to get yourself out of trouble as he exchanges high fives with the staff.
And he's had a nice tournament here. 7 goals now. Before the tournament started, you saw the names on the offense, especially the attack for the Iroquois, the Thompsons, the Stotts, DeHogan Nanticoke, and then there was Kyle Jackson. And I remember former Michigan head coach John Paul tweeting at me, don't sleep on 47. Don't sleep on Kyle Jackson. And if he's maybe the unknown variable on a loaded attack, people know about him now.
Penalty coming up against the Iroquois. Opportunity now for Australia. John Paul also spent some time with the Japanese national team over in Tokyo, preparing them for this tournament. So he should be proud of the fact that they're playing England after this game tonight. You can watch it on ESPN Plus for 5th place in this event. It's a big deal.
Japan is going to move back into the blue
with
division.
A win. I think the winner moves back. They waved that one off as a loose ball push. Now the problem is the confusion on the sideline. Call was correct, but the relaying and the communication has some confusion on the Sharks sideline.
Big save by Aaron. Long outlet pass. It's a dangerous one. And a bit too long intended for Robertson. Incomplete, 2nd down.
You don't get the ball back, though, in lacrosse, Anish, when you take a shot.
Turnover on downs.
College football less than 50 days away.
The Iroquois lost in the semifinals last night to Canada. That game was not close. Ty Thompson, Frank Brown, he's got a couple of goals. 13-7, 6-goal lead. The rules allow you to stall. No shot clock, no clearing clock, a wider box. So if there is a stall warning, you just have to keep it in. Both of these teams are tired. I think you'll see a lot of this now in this 4th quarter from the Iroquois. Lyle Thompson, though, still capable of being magical. That one hit the dirt in front of the net and skips out wide. Lyle doesn't get tired.
No, he's tremendously
not human.
fit and deceptively strong. Puts it in the spin cycle there. He puts pressure on you. If you overplay him, he rolls back the other way.
I saw him yesterday after the game. I said, "You tired yet?" He just smiled. He goes, "Nah, I'm good."
Plays a lot of lacrosse. Takes care of himself, though, too. Eats the right stuff, gets his rest. He's got a young family. You know what that's like?
Yeah, he's got 4, though. I just have 1. Lyle hits the pipe. I think he gets it. People want to see a show. Here's Austin Stotts. He's got Brown on the wing, but Stotts will pull up.
Be interesting to see if Lyle's activated by the Chesapeake Bayhawks, whether he plays in their title run. You got Dallas Rattlers sitting on top of the league. Bayhawks are on a 7-game win streak. They're active this weekend. And then the Denver Outlaws in 3rd place. Now the key for this weekend for Denver is Jack Kelly. Serious knee injury. Their backup is Dylan Ward, so they're in a good spot.
Nanakoke thought about it. Over to Austin, stopped off the crossbar, into the cross of Nanakoke, and now we get the whistle. Callum Robinson looked like he was going to be flagged.
A lot of pipe shots.
Watch the stick skills, though. Nanakoke just catches that.
That thing is ricocheting off the post so fast, Anish. You can't comprehend. You're about 7 yards away from the goal.
Tehoga told me a story of how his hands became such a great weapon. He said he used to play with his older brother in the driveway, and his older brother would whip the ball at his head. And Tehoga said, I had 3 options. Catch it, and if I didn't catch it, I got yelled at by mom, or I got hit in the head. And his brother was 10 years older than him, so that ball was coming with some velo.
You know what that feels like? I replaced a garbage can in the backyard with my older brothers and their friends. I became the designated goalie, using a taped up Long Island Newsday as a chest protector.
Nanakoke, product of IMG Academy, where the Iroquois national team head coach Mark Burnham coaches. #1 player coming out of high school last year, and he was
Lived up to the hype.
bit as advertised.
82 points in a trip to championship weekend. It all starts with a stick, and that's why this event being here in Israel is so important, because dozens and dozens of kids are going to be left equipment. Israeli national team continues to grow the game at the youth level.
Kennedy has it knocked loose by Heine Thompson.
Somewhere in Jerusalem, 2 kids are going to go out and play some wall ball. They're going to fire the ball at each other. Next thing you know, you're going to develop homegrown players here in Israel.
Yeah, just don't do it in the old city.
Can you imagine?
No, I don't even want to go there.
Small-sided game
stop
around those walls.
Stop.
How cool that would be.
Stop. Millsap
This game's been physical.
gets away from Jerry Stotts. Millsap getting greedy. Scores! And a flag at the end of the play. Multiple flags.
Ozzy, 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 Ozzy! He's a threat in transition. This is not his first goal of the tournament. Look at him circle away from duress. Gets to the paint. Shoots this, and then he protects himself. Watch, shot. Know the hit's coming. Brace up. Maintain your feet. He's pumped up. Their fans love him.
Tyson Bomberry called for a penalty. So a man-up opportunity now for Australia. 13-8, 11 minutes to go. Once we get to 3 minutes here in the 4th quarter, we will have a non-running clock.
12 hours to the championship game.
Aussies looking to get to within 4. Here's Robertson.
Circle formation.
Pickett. Plum. Top shelf into the corner. Nigel Morton. And it's 13-9.
29-year-old captain from Adelaide. Double-digit goals in the World Championships. Watch him shuffle his feet. Boom, boom, boom. Dart.
You're hearing the Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi chants.
Timeout called with the extra man to preserve the clock.
13-9, the Iroquois on top. It's been a competitive bronze medal game.
Defense is rotating just a hair too late. The prior goal by Millsop.
That's a juice goal. And then the man up. (13-9). Australia still with a chance here. Well, those two getting plenty of airtime tonight.
They're playing it. They're playing to the camera.
Oh, yeah. Although their fans have been great. My favorite is
they're going to be a new lacrosse meme. I can see it right now.
I don't know if he's here today, but there's one Australia fan. He's been at most of the games, if not all of them, and he is dressed in what can only be described as an adult onesie, and it says Aussie, Aussie, Aussie on the front of it. It's striped. Maybe we can find him if he's there in the crowd. He's got a funny-looking hat on. Looks like almost one of the Mario brothers. Who is the taller one? There he is! Okay, it was a hoodie, not a hat, but that's him. That's an adult onesie, isn't it?
It's a coverall.
And that might be my favorite fan of this entire tournament. Australia can cut it to 3.
Timmy Graham, big face-off win with the man up now. That's critical.
We have not seen many comebacks in this tournament. Morton shot stopped by Hill. Long outlet. The Australians get it back. Keesing to Pickett. Now Plum. Behind to Larson. Skip pass. Plum takes a hit. Bounces off. Over to Morton.
Team's back to even strength.
6-on-6. Nigel Morton through the defense. Shoots and scores! The Sharks have a little bite in this fourth quarter. It's a 3-goal game.
3 straight. We're back to all even strength. The defense doesn't really have their bearings, and all of a sudden Morton is playing with turbo, running through stick checks, no body checks. Back-to-back goals by Nigel.
3rd goal of the game. He has 6 goals in this tournament against the Iroquois. A timeout by the Six Nations. We've got a game in Netanya.
The 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Epic Lacrosse, the official equipment supplier of the 2018 FIL World Championship. Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents. Protect what matters most. Go to trustedchoice.com to find a local agent today. And Coram Watches, official timekeeper of the 2018 World Lacrosse Championship.
For the boys from Oz, the yellow brick road right now, leading to a comeback. Down 13-7 not long ago. 3 straight goals, and the Aussies have closed to within 3 with 9:22 to go in regulation.
This is awesome. This is terrific. This is what it's all about.
Eighth game in 8 days for the Aussies as Graham wins the faceoff. 7-7 for the Iroquois. A chance to get it to within 2. Alex Brown leaves it on the ground for Robertson. Lachlan Walker up top to Nigel Morton. He's got the last 2. Morton, and a save by Hill. And Warren Hill mad at himself.
No, he's mad at the defense. He's mad at the defense. Right now, the Aussies have all the legs and all the speed. They're running circles around the Iroquois Nationals.
The Iroquois need a long offensive possession here to rest that defense. Cal, Brown against Lyle Thompson, who's playing defense, and that was a missed opportunity with a cutting Walker in great position.
Maybe a tad too aggressive. I agree with your sentiments regarding tempo and pace right now, Anish. That you must possess. First, you got to clear it. Everybody's got to work back, help out, take your time. There's no clearing clock. And then once you possess, time is on your side. Conversely, the Aussies, I don't think can afford to sit back.
Warnhill up to Kyle Jackson. Makes his way through the Australian Armada. And now you've got the ball in the cross of Lyle Thompson. And an offsides call against the Iroquois. The Aussies get it back. They're going to run. Matthew Foose. Over to Morton. Fakes the shot. Getting closer. It's stripped loose. Here's Lyle. Up ahead, Austin Stotts. 4 goals for Stotts. Runs into Caleb Hall.
Iroquois need to possess here. They have got to slow it down and get it around.
And now Lyle will slowly walk it.
Their defense is gassed. They need a breather. They've got to regain their composure, control, and that starts with possession.
Dehogan Nanticoke, America East Rookie of the Year at Albany, on the field with Frank Brown and Austin Stotts. Lyle Thompson is there, so is Ty. Here's Austin Stotts to his brother Randy. The Stotts have filled up the stat sheet tonight. That's a hat trick for Randy. Austin has 4 goals.
Timely. Look at the substitution, top of your screen. The Aussies tried to get a midi off. I'm not sure why. They're in a great spot, and all of a sudden, you got a guy running for the midfield line. It was a momentary 6-on-5 for the Iroquois. What are you thinking if you're Australia there? You're in a good spot. You sub off, and you give the guys in white an advantage that they capitalize on. But Austin Stotts has been just brilliant today, and that was a much, much needed goal.
Austin Stotts, the younger brother of Randy Stotts. Those two have combined for 7 goals. Graham wins the faceoff. The Aussies go to work against the tired defense. Cal, all the way! And the Sharks get it right back. It's 14-11. And we're seeing some great theater in this 4th quarter in Netanya.
Winning draws right down the pike. Eventually you get buried. But the answer came quickly off the faceoff.
You know, we have not had many competitive games in the Blue Division. This looked to be on the verge of turning into a blowout. And the Australians have made this an exciting one as we come down the home stretch. 5:05 to go.
I got 9-3, 12-6 in each. I got a 6-goal margin. I don't think it was ever bigger than that.
Chase Scanlon giving Jeremy Thompson a breather, winning the faceoff. He'll be a freshman at Loyola this fall. Goalie is out. The Aussies pressing out. Scanlon tiptoeing the end line.
He's got fresh legs. He hasn't played much. He's got to have confidence right now.
Can he get through a double team? He gets saved by a timeout by the Iroquois.
That's a good job by the youngster. Glenn Meredith talking to his young face-off man, Timothy Graham. The Iroquois Nationals have really enjoyed our time with them. We're staying in the same hotel. We're seeing them daily at all their meals. We see their coaching staff. They've done nothing but represent their people and the sport at the absolute highest standards of what you'd hope for.
They are representatives of this sport. It is their sport. They call it the creator's game. It's a medicine game, and they have been generous, so generous with their time. Talk to other countries, Peru, Uganda, Jamaica. And you know what? They're not doing it for attention. They're not doing it when the cameras are around. If they're asked, they do it. If they're not asked, they do it. They're here to teach the game and grow the game. And I think more than anything, Quint, share their truly spiritual love of the game with the world.
They've made a connection. I mean, we saw it firsthand when Uganda came over, and outside our hotel, we're up at the pool, and I look over the edge, and I see these red jerseys and the Iroquois, and they're kind of doing a little mini clinic, and next thing you know, they're singing songs. Oh. Smiles on everybody's faces, making a connection, moving this game forward, being ambassadors, being the shepherds. That's what this event is about.
It's why they are the most popular team amongst everybody here in Netanya. They've got the ball and a 3-goal lead, and right now, for the Iroquois to get to the finish line, they've got to possess the ball. Their defense is gassed. Australia's getting great looks and scoring almost at will right now. The Iroquois, to win this game, just have to limit possessions. Goalie out of the net. Lyle Thompson playing keep away.
I don't like the double team with the goalie in this case. He's not the guy you want to double.
Thompson's so elusive.
You need to put 2 long poles on Thompson.
So strong. Pinned in the corner. He escapes. Lyle absorbs the contact and now gives it up. Stall warning on the Iroquois. That just means they have to keep it in the attack box. Jackson lost it. Ball on the ground. Jackson recovers. Knocked out of bounds. It belongs to Australia. And remember, once we get to the 3-minute mark, we don't have a running clock anymore. Callum Robinson, the big koala, lobs it up ahead to Mitchell Kennedy. He gets away from Lyle Thompson. Now he slips. Flag coming against the Iroquois.
They're offsides as well. I mean, you still got 7 on defense. Count them.
Foose.
Should be multiple penalties. Should be a trip on Lyle Thompson and an offsides violation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on defense. There's a second flag.
There's the second flag.
Door's still open for the Aussie Sharks.
Wide open. Right now, the Australians.
White, offside, 30-second technical foul. Served by 94.
Trip and an offsides. Specialty situations, that is extra man and man down. I think tomorrow when USA plays Canada in our final, ESPN 2, 3 a.m. East Coast, I think those are critical situations in that game because it's going to be heated. It's going to be intense. I think you'll see a lot of laundry, and I think you'll see a number of power plays early in the game that can really dictate momentum and tempo.
6-on-4 for the Aussies. Pickett to Robertson. Plum. Morton. Morton gets it back. He's had a big hand in this comeback. Robertson will circle back. William Pickett. Robertson from the wing, steps into one. Not there, picked up by Keesing. Robertson, another chance. Looking for Morton, it's off his cross. Rolling to the near sideline, but retrieved. Larson able to salvage the possession. 6-on-5 now. Bouncing into the air. Robertson flips it to Keesing. Morton's got a look. Going low! It's a 2-goal game.
Relentless pressure by the Aussies. The Iroquois defense so valiant. Warren Hill doing everything he can, but it's Nigel Morton. He's been the star of this fourth quarter. A hat trick. You talk about a big face-off. Here we go.
Now this has fast turned into one of the best games of this tournament. A roller coaster of a fourth quarter. Graham wins the draw, accelerating into the box, shoots! And Warren Hill has the backup for the Iroquois. Oh, that was a mistake by the Australians. If you shoot that, you have to have the backup.
Australia now pressing upfield. They roll upfield into a 10-man ride.
The long outlet. And the Iroquois give it right back. 2:07 to go. The bronze medal on the line. Australia won 4 straight bronze medals in these world championships. 98 through 2010. Finished 4th in 2014. That's when the Iroquois won the bronze. Kennedy has some room and off the mark. Lachlan Walker is there. A little over 90 seconds to go. Robertson against Bomberry. Skip pass. Here's Morton. He's been the hero. Turned away. Warren Hill. Huge save. Now Walker. Over to Kennedy. Morton spinning his way in. Fakes the pass. Lachlan Walker against Ron John. And a save again by Warren Hill. The Iroquois will try to clear and run out this final minute as they nurse a 2-goal lead.
Like the way Lyle Thompson has stayed back towards the net to help in the clearing game. How about Warren Hill? He's got the rock right now.
Aussie's got to be aggressive here. 45 seconds, Thompson.
Empty net.
Now steps on the turbo across midfield. The Iroquois still have a timeout. Here's Ty Thompson. Ryan Sparks, the goalie, out of the net. Thompson.
Australia's got too many. Now they're good. They're good. Goalie's back in.
Frank Brown slips. Slips again in an ambush. Manages to hold on. 17 seconds. Gets away from Hall. Austin Stotts has it. Stall warning against the Iroquois. Final seconds of this bronze medal game. And the Iroquois have the bronze medal as they outlast Australia. The Sharks made a valiant comeback, but it's the Six Nations that hold on.
Tell you, Austin Stotts scoring, Lyle Thompson's ability to control the game at critical moments, but nobody was bigger in the fourth quarter than goaltender Warren Hill, and there he is, accepting the congratulations of his teammates. Warren was outstanding when the world was collapsing around him.
He stood tall. And the Iroquois take home the bronze medal for his 2nd straight World Championships.
Valiant comeback by the Aussies, down 9-3 at one point in each, and then 12-6. They rallied. They wouldn't give up. I told you they wouldn't go down without a fight.
They were down 13-7 in the fourth quarter. This is our trusted choice play of the game. You called it when it happened.
Bomberry posts up. Jackson cuts. Kyle Jackson, the Chippewa, over the shoulder. Our trusted choice play of the game.
A couple of goals by Jackson. Austin and Randy Stotts combined for 7 goals. The People's Champ take home the bronze, and this was the start of the medal round. And boy, I hope this is just an appetizer for tomorrow when the U.S. and Canada, 10 a.m. local time, 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Call your friends, wake them up if you have to. U.S.-Canada, if it's anything like the first meeting between the two, we're going to have another epic gold medal game. We'll see you bright and early Saturday morning.